Welcome, everybody. We are getting started on this webinar. We are just waiting for some people to sign on, so hang in there. We're just going to give it another minute. Right. All right. I think we should just jump right in on this and get this party started. So welcome, everybody. We're super excited to have you join us today. We can see that this is a topic that is of high concern for everyone. So let's do this. Welcome to Will Cyber Insurance Pay for Your Ransomware Outbreak? And the question is, will you know of the 5 biggest mistakes owners make and how you can avoid them? Okay, so I'm going to do my best to get this done in under 45 minutes. So let's get started. One of the things that, are top of everyone's mind, again, is cyber insurance is so expensive, right? In fact, the insurance premiums have increased by an average of 28% in the first quarter of 2022 compared with the fourth quarter of 2021. Those stats are in according to the Council of Insurance Agents and Brokers, all right, an association for commercial insurance employee benefits intermediaries. So this is what you're going to see. This is what's going to be happening now. And you want to be prepared to know what you are doing. So I'm going to ask you to, before we get started, I'm going to be going over some steps you can take to protect your business. First, why the heck do you care about what I have to say? Well, you're going to enjoy this because it is a win-win situation. Our security team has audited over 2,000 networks in the past 12 months. And I can tell you where people are going wrong when it comes to protecting themselves and being able to make sure their insurance policy covers the attack. That's just the last 12 months, right? So our security team is on a mission, and that mission is to help protect 1 million people. And this free analysis is part of that mission. So, why not, work with my security, third-party security company and just get on that bandwagon for everybody. And who am I? If you don't already know me, for those of you that are joining and have joined and we've never met, my name is Cora Park. I am the founder and CEO of Diamond Business Communications. I started this company over 8 years ago, and I personally have been on a mission ever since too. Managed service provider was not really a common title when we started the IT company, but that's not true today, right? Not anymore. Now it's understood why proactive measures are required. Diamond, our expertise is helping small, medium-sized businesses and organizations alike unify their use of today's technologies and become more skillful with the communications for all internal staff, mobile staff, and collaborating partners. Let's face it, when you're serving the community and you're running a business, you have collaborating partners. So, you all have to communicate. And our strong focus is on cybersecurity. Razor sharp. So I do take pride in the continuous education of data security and keeping ahead of the dangers of cyber criminals. In fact, I do have accolades for providing next-gen technologies for my clients. Walked across the stage too in California to get an accolade. So, you know, I have to say our channel partners and third-party security teams alike, okay, are our forefront. We partner with this third-party security firm to do internal and external oversight for myself and for clients. So we're joining their mission to help 1 million people become secure. So that's where we're at, and we're super excited. But before we just jump ahead, sometimes I do like to, just open a little piece of Cora and just kind of share with you, just something a little bit personal, makes it a little bit, one-on-one. So I can't get any more personal than this. Let's go back in time a little bit, right? Because you always got to go back to where you started to where you're going. So I've been providing white glove service since the early 80s, right? This is a Minolta dealership in Philadelphia. I was the director of service operations at the age of 27. All those gentlemen you see behind me, that was my staff at the time, right? Now, mind you, we didn't have internet, computers, back in the beginning, no cell phones. We were just helping businesses automate their printing and copying needs manually, I guess you would say, but nonetheless, it does take processes. So anyway, I just want to share that because, you're in good hands. So let's get current and let's just jump right into it. And I want to thank you again for being here. Again, the goal is to align myself with our security team on their mission to help protect 1 million people. So how can my clients go wrong with this personal goal? Again, it's a win-win. So before I get too far along, I know some of you are probably thinking to yourself, I'm running a small company. I don't need ransomware insurance. Why do you think that you never see small businesses in the news with ransomware locking up all their computers? I wonder why that is, right? Well, as it happens, I want to share this part with you. Several weeks ago, our security team did in fact help a small law firm, right? I would actually call them a micro law firm, okay? Because they only had 2 computers, right? 2 computers and some data in the cloud. That was it. I shared this with you because most people will, in their minds, they're set that, like, why my company's not big enough. I don't need that. And, and of course, why do they, my stuff's not that important. But for this small law firm, 2 computers and some data in the cloud, that was it. And they still ended up being down for 7 days and ended up paying the ransom, right? It turns out that their backup just wasn't working. They were not able to recover from it. And, that it was just 2 attorneys, they were getting to the point where they were not going to pay the ransomware because it locked down, and they just weren't going to do it. And when they started, indicating to the cyber criminals that, because there's a negotiation when this stuff happens, when they started indicating they weren't going to do it, that's when the cyber criminals turned it on them and said, okay, well, if you don't, then we are going to take all your clients' data, and we're just going to just push it out on the dark web fast and furious. So they really, it was right up until that point that they were like, oh my God, we have to do this. Now, mind you, when that happens, those cyber criminals, because they've been in their computers and they know their bank accounts, they know exactly how much money they have, right? So the threat that they put on them was, what they had on hand and how they could get a little bit more. So these these guys had to make a decision, and it was pretty hard. So at the end of the day, I mean, it was like lose everything, and just start over, walk away from that. That's what they were willing to do until they put the clients in front of them. So they ended up getting another mortgage quickly on their house for another $50,000, and they just paid the bill, right? Um, and that stuff, that's the sad part of all this. So this is why there's cybersecurity insurance, number one, and why you got to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing when you have cyber cyber insurance. Because it's happening to all sorts of businesses, small businesses, big businesses in the cloud, businesses with servers, even businesses who don't think they need their data. That all data is vulnerable, and it's worth it. So the worst part is you're going to have to pay the ransom if that happens. All the experiences that are leading up to this have done that. When I say leading up to it, the majority are paying the ransom because of the fact that they're in situations that they can't get out of. So what can you do, right? Simple, right? Just transfer it to an insurance company, and that's it. We all thought like that. Newsflash, it's not covered by a normal business interruption insurance. Before, you just had business liability insurance, so no matter what your business incurred or, fell into, there was some sort of coverage for you. When it comes to cyber insurance, here's the thing, right? As you can imagine, insurance companies are not going to pay because they're not enjoying all of what's happening with these ransomware payments. So what are they doing about it? What have they done? Okay, they are assessing clients, your networks, and denying claims. So wondering, I'm sure, why is cyber insurance getting more expensive? This is why, okay? Because higher premiums for both public and private organizations are a result of the demand for coverage in the light of frequent and costly cybercrime incidents. The FBI reported in May of 2022 that more than the US $43 billion had been lost through businesses' email compromise attacks. That's just email compromise, right? Attacks since 2016. And that's why this is happening. So they, when it first came out, it was like, great. They were writing all these policies, thinking this is great. But now, because of ransomware, they've been paying for policies left and right. Claims. And now it's like, okay, no, whoa, back up. Now they're wise to it, and they're saying, we gotta change the way we're doing things. So this is what they're doing to address this, right? They're asking questions, and I'm sure you've experienced some of this today. Here, some of you guys, you're getting this questionnaire now on a regular annual basis. They want to understand what you have in place. So they're not just going to blindly, write a policy for you without knowing, what precautions you're doing to protect the investment, right? So these questions are getting harder and harder. And this is where the biggest mistakes come in. So, okay. What are they looking for, right? So we're going to go through the top 5 questions. And if you cannot answer yes to these, you not only have a problem when it comes to getting your insurance renewal, right? You are putting your livelihood and your reputation at risk. So here goes. Do you have MFA, multi-factor authentication, and email for your email and other sensitive information when you log on to those sites? Do you have backups? And are you sure they are working? Do you have up-to-date active antivirus installed on all the computers? Do you have a written documented breach response plan? Do you have up-to-date active firewall technology? Okay, so if you answered yes to these 5 questions, what are the 5 things? This is what you're getting wrong. All right. And rather get the 5 questions rather than checking with their IT team, to get these answers, or worse, I mean, just checking off the boxes. And this is crucial that you understand these as a business owner, CEO, executive director. Your role in this is crucial. So that's, it's like going to a health insurance and having pre-existing condition you don't tell them about. You just can't check a box and and or assume you're healthy, or you don't have smoking, you didn't smoke. It's the same thing. It's insurance. They want to know, how are you taking care of yourself? How are you taking care of your data? So let's go through this. I'm going to go through these with you and show you how you can check each of these yourself, and give you a way to know for sure you have all the controls in place to make sure that you are eligible for cyber insurance, and you're properly protecting your data. And when you check a box, you're confident that that is taken care of. You've done everything in your possible hands to be able to protect your data, so that when you submit that policy, there's no question should you, have an event. All right, so let's talk about the first one. Do you have multi-factor authentication set up for all your email or sensitive information? All right, so this one's easy to check. Are you prompted? When you do access your email or your remote systems, are you prompted for more than just a password? For example, do you have to pull out your phone, to, type in a code, or are they sending you a code, to give you the next step? It's a surefire way to tell you you're covered in those areas. That should be on everything. So, do you have backups, and are you sure they are working? So backups are a little harder. The question is, do you test your backups? So the best way to know that you have good backups is to actually test them. So, but you probably don't have the time to do that. So you should make sure the people who are responsible for your backup are testing them and reporting back to you that you're good to go. We recommend that at least once a month, that you have some sort of authentication validation that yes, your backups are working, at least once a month. All right, now, do you have up-to-date active antivirus installed on your computers? Do you know 20% of the networks have missing antivirus? Okay, now that you've checked off the authentications and backup, what about that antivirus? How do you test that? So the easiest way is to go down on your computer on the right-hand side at the bottom, right in the corner of your screen, hover over each of those little icons that you're looking for something that says, like an antivirus or endpoint protection. If you have that active icon, then you have antivirus or an endpoint protection on your device. And something you want to go around to all the devices in your network and just double check, because it only takes one device that doesn't have it up to date for an open door, an open window, if you will, for a cyber criminal. They'll find it. All right, so now next, I hope you all had the antivirus, by the way, and the endpoint protection, but now, after this webinar, you'll have to go around and do some checking. Now, next, do you have a written documented breach response plan? As the owner, CEO, executive director, whomever your role is in the organization, you should know. You are responsible. Okay. So if you're that person and you're not sure, I'm telling you right now, you don't have one. Why? Because as a business owner, you're the one that has to be involved in the communication. If you aren't aware of the plan, you're not going to be able to communicate on the company's behalf during an event. When these crises happen within your business, any type of crisis, not just a ransomware, or threat, any type of situation, who is out front taking care of it? Who are they going to? Who's the one they're going after to, say, well, are you doing this? Have you checked that? What are you going to do next? It's on you. You have to take responsibility for that, because they're not going to, somebody else in the organization. So, okay. So the last one is a little more difficult, okay, to measure, but, you would know if you have an active firewall, because you would have installed it in the last 2 years, at least the last 2 years, or you would have been paying a subscription for it. So are you paying for subscription? It's just like antivirus. It gets renewed on the firewalls. If the firewalls are in place to put that layer between the internet and be configured with a subscription that has all the up-to-date threats blocked for you. So if you're not paying a subscription, in the last year or two, you should dig into that and look, find out. A firewall hanging on the wall with no other type of technology protecting you, you might as well just go to bed at night and leave all the doors and windows open. It's a very critical piece of the puzzle. So let's reflect. If you couldn't answer yes to every one of the above questions, for sure, okay, for sure, you will struggle to find an insurance provider to cover you, or you'll have to pay a tremendous premium. And we see it all the time in scenarios where, especially today, because like I mentioned before, do you know what I mean? It's difficult. The insurance companies, they don't like to pay the claims. They don't mind insuring you, all right, but you have to take care of yourself, just like in same scenario with your health. You have to take care of yourself. If you're living your life recklessly, well, your premiums are going to be higher. It's as simple as that. So I mentioned at the beginning, okay, the presentation, that I have a way that could figure this stuff out simply and easily. So no one should be responsible for proofreading your work, right? I mean, you can't just go to your IT team and, hope they're doing it. If they say yes to you, even, as a managed service provider, we have a third party coming in, auditing us to make sure that, our tools are working. You can have all the fancy tools you want, but if they're not working, they're not working. So oversight should always be done. And how can you do this? Okay, I can help you with that. I can help you with a free third-party cyber insurance readiness assessment. Okay, this is how we can go about that. We can go in and perform this assessment of your cybersecurity stack so we can see and see if you have vulnerabilities. Do you know what I mean? And what you should be checking off the box, you know, and reliably know that you can check that box, right? So I know you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, well, this just isn't my job, Here's the thing, right? Remember, keeping your company secure is everyone's responsibility, even if it's just taking simple steps that I've shared with you earlier. Excuse me. So you probably could be thinking, all right, I'm already protected. I have someone that does this, but are you absolutely sure you have completely protected from ransomware and hackers? If you'd love to be able to answer yes, I am secure, I have the simple step for you. It is that third party assessment, insurance cyber readiness assessment. So I know questions, do I have to get my IT department involved? I get this. I get this asked all the time. And, I found the easiest answer to that is it's really up to you. If you'd like to know how they are actually doing, you could do this evaluation without engaging them. And, by all means, if you'd like to give them the chance to prepare themselves, then by all means, let's get them engaged, right? But think about it, by the way, do you think hackers give your IT department a chance to prepare for the hack of the network? So, that it truly is a decision when that you have options. Next question we always get, do I need administrative credentials? I assure you, you do not need any passwords in order to get this examination of your network. Will we install anything? Okay, no, we will not install anything. It is a software that does not leave any, that dissipates, right? Just kind of like goes in, takes a snapshot, and there's your vulnerabilities. So, right, this is what we will do, right? We're going to analyze your network. We send you a simple tool that you can run and analyze. You click on it, okay? We'll discuss that when we get to it, right? That way, when we come back, right, when these reports that go off and our SOC team analysts will review it, okay, we're going to come back down and review this with you in plain English. No tech talk, no geek talk, but we will be able to show you what the results are from the scans. Okay, give you simple steps you can take to protect yourself and your data. So if we show you issues, generally, we're also going to give you solutions. And finally, we want to take the steps, help you take some steps to protect you and yourself and your data. Flash forward to that young lady there. What's the catch? Just a little one, right? We can't do this for everyone. We will only be able to do at least, at most 5 for this quarter, okay, which is ending in March 31st. And of course, anyone after that who signs up, we'll put you on the wait list, all right, that we can put you for the next quarter. Because again, I work with my third party security team, and they allow us, so many of these tools that we can do. So this is what we have for the end of this quarter. And, of course, if you're in a rush and you're after the signups, do you know what I mean? We can charge $2,000, but, for this type of analysis, but again, get on board to get this done. It's absolutely vital. And I'm sure you're asking again, well, if you get $2,000, why are you doing this for free? Remember, Remember the mission, right? Our security team's on a mission to help protect 1 million people. That's why they've given us these tools, sporadically, like, okay, you go. And this free analysis is part of that mission. So we do want to share that with you. We want you to take advantage of that. So if you want to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row, okay, or get a list of items we can give you to improve, you can go to this link, diamondbc.net/insurance, fill in the information. And again, the first ones to do that, will get in line, for this quarter. So we can definitely help with that. Now, I want to open it up. Does anybody have any questions? You can, put it in the chat or questions and answers, right? Questions and answers. I'm sorry, we can only see. That's what I can see with the questions. Okay. Bill, how long does it take? So, very good question. Once we send you, once you fill out the form, we'll get you scheduled. We'll have a conversation, and from that conversation, I can send you over what you need to click on your devices, and from there, it dissipates now. As I mentioned before, it's not going to stay. It's not invasive. It's not it's not opening files. It's only going to take a snapshot of your vulnerabilities so that I can share them with you. And once the clickings or the snapshots taken, I'll start getting reports that, okay, this has been activated, this device. Once we have that, it goes off to the SOC team. The SOC team takes about, I want to say 2, maybe 3 days, depending on the size of your organization, to review them and go through it, and then make a nice report, like I said, in plain English, for me to come back and share with you. So the whole process from beginning to end, which is a phone call on your end, and then a second phone call, or meeting, whatever you want to do, however you want to do it, to go over the report. That's it. Okay, next question. Hang on. Let's see. Do you sell cyber insurance? No. Diamond Business Communications has nothing to do with selling insurance. We do work with, though I will share with you, we work with insurance brokers, where when I go into clients, my clients, prospects like yourself, and we will offer to look at their current policies. And they look at it, not me. I'm not the insurance expert. They are. And they can tell you, if you're overpaying or underpaying. We can and help you out, because there have been scenarios where, they're just, because you don't know, right? You're not an insurance expert. What do you know about cybersecurity? What is MFA? We get it. And that's why we've aligned ourselves with some insurance brokers that we feel are consulting to help you make sure that you're paying the right amount for your policy. But do we sell it? Absolutely no. But thank you. All right. We got another one coming up. Okay, how much does this cost? Again, there is no charge for this. We are doing this within a mission to align ourselves again with our security team, and there's no charge for the first 5. As far as I'm getting a little signal over there, 5. All right, 5 it is. All right. What else? Any other questions? Well, I believe I've made a record. Okay, we're finishing this in just under our 45 minutes. In fact, 40 minutes it is. So I want to thank everybody for coming and joining in on this session. I hope you were able to walk away with some good knowledge on what to go back and look for. And if you need any help, please, shoot us an email. We'd be more than happy to help you. And we do encourage you to take advantage of that in cyber insurance readiness assessment. It does include questionnaires and, a battery of stuff to get you knowing what you should know. All right, everybody, have a great day.